Hello everyone and welcome you to GST Workshop Series 2021. We are very happy this year. Apart from the main workshop that we do every year, this year we have come up with something very innovative. One of our pillars that we had thought for the theme 2021 was innovation. And I'm thankful to the IDT Committee Chairman C.A. Bishan Shah for coming up with a real innovative idea wherein we are also giving you pre-recorded introductory sessions wherein the speakers will be sharing with you very important rules, insights and amendments pertaining to the topic which the main faculty is going to cover in the workshop. I am extremely thankful to all the faculties who have agreed to come and share their knowledge, share the pre-recorded videos, and I am sure this step of ours will be a great enriching value add to all of you. Thank you once again for having the trust in Ahmedabad and attending this series, and your suggestions and feedback are always welcome. Thank you so much.
Welcome all the participants. We at Ahmedabad branch of WRC of ICAI are very much thankful to our chairman CA Harit Dhariwal sir, who has given us a motto and aim and vision for the year, which is ICAI: ideation, collaboration, adaptability and innovation. With that, we come with this introductory lectures which are pre-recorded for all of you. And in any game, it is said that your soldiers are required to be on your table. As GST is a big game changer for the businesses, we chartered accountants are always ready and equipped to help our businesses and clients at any moment of time with swift and smartly. And that's why we have recorded all these videos which will enable you to solve your issues related to GST, and you will be able to help your clients in a much better way. As we all are passing through this difficult time, and for GST we need some refreshing knowledge pools, so that's why we have recorded this video. I hope the same will be helpful to all of you, and happy learning. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ahmedabad branch, for providing me this opportunity to share my views on the subject. My job is to give you some introduction to the subject place of supply. What we will cover is we will go through some basic important definitions, and then we will move to what is an intrastate transaction and what are the interstate transaction. Then we will see the rules for place of supply for goods, and then we will move to place of supply for services rules. First of all, we need to understand that what is an India, because that each and every rule has an implications wherein we need to understand what is the definition of an India. India means the territory of India as referred to in Article 1 of the Constitution of India, its territorial waters, seabed, subsoil, underlying such waters, continental shelf, exclusive economic zone or any other maritime zone as referred to in the territorial waters, continental shelf, exclusive economic zone and other maritime zones act 1976. It also includes the airspace above its territory and territorial waters. So we can here see that definition of India is much wider, and whatever transaction happening in related area like territorial waters or continental shelf or exclusive economic zones is also subject to GST. Now we will move to the statutory provision related to place of supply. As we need to understand that place of place of supply can be determined only by the central government. Such rules are forming part of an IGST Act which is passed by the Parliament and not forming the part of a CGST Act or SGST Act, because SGST Act are being passed by the local assemblies. So state department or state government do not have an authority to decide what is the place of rules for place of supply. So we need to understand the provision of IGST Act and not the CGST Act. In IGST Act, all the transactions are to be bifurcated between the interstate transaction and intrastate transaction. Section 7 of IGST Act talks about what are the interstate transaction, and section 8 of an IGST Act talks about what are the intrastate transaction. Let me go through one by one. First of all, we need to understand that how the interstate transaction or intrastate transaction are determined. First of all, we need to find out what is the location of the supplier, and then we also need to find out what is the place of supply. Once we find out what is the place of supply and what is the location of the supplier, merely by comparing both these things, we can find out what is an interstate transaction and what is an intrastate transaction. If both location of supplier as well as place of supply are in the same state or union territory, such a transaction will be considered as an intrastate transaction and will be subject to CGST and SGST. But if location of supplier and place of supply both are in a different state or a union territory, such a transaction will be considered as an interstate transaction and will be subject to levy of an IGST under an IGST Act. So, before we directly jump to the rules to determine place of supply, which will be finally used to determine the nature of the transaction, whether it is an intrastate or interstate, we need to understand what is the sequence, how we should determine or how we should go through such a rules. First of all, we need a location of a supplier, or we need to determine what is the location of the supplier. There, once we have it, we also need to find out what is the place of supply, and place of supply we can find out from the IGST Act provisions. Once we have both of it, we have to compare it, location of supplier as well as place of supply. We will compare it and then we will find out whether it is an intrastate transaction or interstate transaction, just for the revision, so that we can have some easiness in understanding of next few slides. Now let me go through what is the statutory provisions in an IGST Act for a place of supply. Now the GST is applicable on goods as well as on services both. There are different set of rules to determine the place of supply for goods and the separate rules for the services. Place of supply related to goods are there in section 10 and section 11 of IGST Act. If your transaction is a domestic transaction, in that case we need to apply the section 10 of an IGST Act, and in case such a transaction are import or export of goods, we need to go through the rules of section 11. If we need to ascertain the place of supply of a services, in that case we need to refer section 12 and section 13. If the transaction is a domestic transaction, in that case we need to understand or go through or determine the place of supply as per the rules and provisions given in section 12. And if such a transaction is between the two parties, one of which is outside the country, in that case we need to apply the principle listed in a section 13. So here we need to understand four different sections and rules stated therein, section 10 to section 13. 10, 11 for goods, for services section 12 and section 13. Now let me go through one by one for each section. Place of supply of goods for a domestic transaction, when there is a movement of a goods is within an India only, in that case how we need to determine the place of supply. Let me once again tell you that place of supply, merely finding a place of supply is not going to help. Once we will find out the place of supply, we will apply that place of supply, we will compare it, that place of supply with location of the supplier, and then we will be able to find out whether that transaction is an interstate transaction or intrastate transaction. Now let me start with the section 10 subsection 2, or first rule rather. If a supply involves a movement of goods, somebody from Ahmedabad is sending the goods to his buyer at Bombay. In that case, the goods are being moved from Ahmedabad to a state outside the Gujarat. In that case, how we have to find out the place of supply? So rule says that, or section says that, location of goods at the time at which the movement of goods terminates for the delivery, that location will be considered as a place of supply. In our example, when the goods are moving from Ahmedabad to Bombay, in that case a movement of goods starts from Ahmedabad and movement of goods terminates at a, for example, at a Bombay. So when the goods momentum of goods terminates at a Bombay, at that time the goods are lying at a Bombay itself, so place of supply will be the Bombay or Maharashtra, hence the place of supply will be Maharashtra, Bombay. Now we have a place of supply, we need to compare it with the location of the supplier. Location of supplier is at an Ahmedabad, so Ahmedabad is it means Gujarat, and place of supply we have Bombay or Maharashtra. Both are in a different state, so this transaction will be considered as an interstate transaction, and meaning thereby this transaction will be subject to levy of IGST and not C and SGST. Correct? Now let me go through further. Further, the section says that what if there is no momentum of goods, there is no movement of goods. When the goods are to be delivered, okay, I will come to that later. Okay, if the goods doesn't involve any movement of goods, in such a case the location of the goods at a time of a delivery of a goods will be the place of supply. So for example, some goods are lying in the godown at Ahmedabad. That goods are being sold to a buyer at Bombay. Buyer at Bombay says that let that goods be stored in the same godowns at an Ahmedabad. I am not taking the delivery. Correct? You just raise me an invoice. From today onwards, all the risk and rewards will be the mine. You merely instruct your godown operator that all the goods are now mine, and whatever that storage bill or whatever it is, you send it to the Bombay. So in that case, there is no movement of goods at all. So how we will determine the place of supply? Rule says that in such a case, the place of supply shall be the location of the goods at a time of a delivery of goods. As there is no movement, the goods was at the same location, means at an Ahmedabad godown or storage warehouse, whatever it is. So the place of supply will be Ahmedabad only. Now we have a place of supply. In this case, we will compare it with the location of the supplier, which is also at a Gujarat. Goods are also at a Gujarat. So both the transaction, both the place of supply as well as the location of supplier are in the same state. So this transaction will be subject to CGST and SGST, and means it is an intrastate transaction. Now let me go through another rule. What is that? If goods are to be delivered on the direction of a third person, in that case the principal place of a business of a third person will be the place of supply. For example, somebody from Bombay comes to me at an Ahmedabad. He is asking for the goods. He is purchasing goods from me at an Ahmedabad, and he says that Puneet, don't deliver these goods to Bombay, but I have also a factory at an Ahmedabad, you or say Baroda. You deliver that goods to a Baroda, maybe his job worker or whoever it is. So I will deliver the goods to Mr. Y at a Baroda on instruction of Mr. X from Bombay. So goods are not moving out of the state of Gujarat, but still in that case the rule says that the principal place of business of a third person means an X at a Bombay will be the place of supply. So place of supply now we have is outside the Gujarat, location of supplier is within the Gujarat, both are in a different state, so that transaction will be subject to IGST. We need to understand that in this case, even if the goods are not moving out of the state of Gujarat, such a transaction will be subject to IGST, means and it will be considered as an interstate supply of a goods for the purpose of levy of a GST. So it will be subject to IGST. Please understand that even if the goods are not moving out of the state of Gujarat. Now let me go through the fourth rule. Many times what's happened is goods or property are being assembled or installed at a site. In such a case, if the goods or property are to be installed or assembled at a site, in that case the place of supply shall be the place of assembly or installation. For example, Reliance Jio orders at Ahmedabad, Reliance Jio from Bombay orders that Mr. X from Ahmedabad, you please construct a mobile tower at Ahmedabad only, and you raise an invoice at a Bombay to me. So in that case, what is the place of supply? The place of supply will be the place where such a mobile tower is installed. So place of supply will be Ahmedabad, location of supplier will be also at Ahmedabad. In that case, both are in the same state or a same place, it will be considered as an intrastate supply of goods, and it will be subject to CGST and SGST. Let me move to the next rule. Many times what happens is some goods are supplied during the conveyance. Say flight is going from an Ahmedabad to Bombay, and in that case flight takeoffs, and on board during a flight time some goods are being supplied to you. In that case, the rule says that place of supply shall be the location at which such a goods are taken on board. So if such a flight is starting from an Ahmedabad and goods are loaded on that flight, on that aeroplane at an Ahmedabad, the place of supply shall be Ahmedabad only. So we have completed with the place of supply related rules related to domestic supply of goods. Now we are moving to the rules related to place of supply for imported and exported goods that are stated at section 11 of an IGST Act. What are that? That are quite simpler. It says that for any goods, if that are imported into an India, place of supply shall be the location of an importer. Correct. So for example, somebody from Delhi is importing a goods from America and goods are coming to the Mundra port at Gujarat. In that case, the place of supply shall be the location of an importer, means a Delhi. So state of Delhi or Union Territory of Delhi will be considered as a place of supply, even if the goods are landed at a Mundra, Gujarat. Similarly, for an export of goods, section 11 says that for exported any goods which are being exported from an India, place of supply shall be the location outside India. So somebody from Madhya Pradesh is sending a goods to Dubai, and that goods are being cleared from the custom station at Bombay. In that case, the place of supply will be any place which is outside than India. Now here I will take one pause and will discuss one or two important provision related to which are related to place of supply, particularly for import and export or international transaction. We need to understand that how import related transactions are covered or are being taxed or are being controlled under the GST. any goods which are being imported into an India, till the time it crosses the custom frontiers means in layman's language a custom station or a custom house which allows all the clearing of such a goods. So any goods which are being imported into an India shall be treated to be a supply of a goods in the course of an interstate trade or commerce. Means you forget about whatever rules we have stated, all such a transaction, all such an import of goods will be considered as if it is an interstate transaction. It means that only IGST will be payable and not C and S and C. Similarly, any supply of services which is imported into India shall also be treated as a supply of an interstate transaction, meaning thereby all import of services will be subject to IGST, considering as if it is merely an interstate transaction and no C and S GST. All the imported goods, when it will be imported into an India, it will be subject to GST, it will be considered as an interstate transaction and IGST is to be levied thereon. However, please understand that according to the proviso to section 5 subsection 1 of IGST Act, all such a goods will be subject to IGST, but that IGST will be levied or tax shall be levied and collected in accordance with the provisions of section 3 of Customs Tariff Act and not under the IGST Act or not under the CGST and SGST Act. What is meaning is, when you are importing any goods, all the provisions of a Customs Act will be applicable to such a transaction even though you are paying an IGST under an IGST Act. Means valuation rules, time of supply, place of supply, whatever the rules, payment of tax, collection of tax, recovery of dues, whatever it is, all the rules or provision stated in the Customs Tariff Act will be applicable and not the IGST Act or provision stated in an IGST Act or CGST or SGST Act. So all the import are being controlled under the Customs Act, and whatever IGST you have to pay on import of goods, that will be paid under the Customs Tariff Act and will be collected by the Customs Authority and not by the GST authority at your local jurisdiction. Supply to SEZ and supply to related to SEZ and residual transaction. It is a section 7 subsection 5. It has listed out some transaction which will be always considered as an interstate transaction. What is that? When there is a supplier is located in India and the place of supply is outside India, means for example export, all such a transaction will be considered as an interstate transaction only. Any supply to or by an SEZ unit or developer of an SEZ unit will also be subject to IGST. It will be always considered as an interstate transaction, even if both the supplier and receiver both are located in the same state. Residual category, which is very important, if we are not able to find out, or if any transaction which cannot be considered as an intrastate transaction, such a transaction will always be categorized as a interstate transaction only. Now we are moving to the rules related to place of supply of services, which are stated at a section 12 of IGST Act. What is that? First of all, we will go through the general rule, which says that generally place of supply shall be location of the recipient. It is a general rules, and majority of the transaction will be covered under these rule only. Now we need to understand that under these rule, it happens that a person who is receiving the services is registered or may not be a registered person. That will decide whether it is an interstate transaction or whether it is an intrastate transaction. If a person who is receiving the service is a registered person, in that case the place of supply shall be the location of that person or that recipient of the services. If he is not registered under the GST, in that case, if his address, recipient's address is available on record of a local service provider, in that case place of supply shall be the location of the service recipient. And if service recipient is also not registered and also service provider do not have his address on his record, in that case place of supply shall be the location of the supplier himself. Now that general rule which I said is subject to certain exceptions which are listed out at section 12 subsection 3 onwards. What are that? If any service is in relation to an immobile property, in that case place of supply shall always be the location of immobile property. For example, L&T Baroda has been given a contract to construct an hotel at a Madhya Pradesh. So as hotel is located at a Madhya Pradesh, place of supply shall be the Madhya Pradesh only. As the Madhya Pradesh, place of supply is the Madhya Pradesh, location of a supplier Baroda, Gujarat, both are in a different state, such a transaction will be subject to IGST. Let me elaborate this further. L&T Baroda has got a contract to construct a property at a Madhya Pradesh, and service recipient is also his next door, or say from Ahmedabad. So service recipient from an Ahmedabad orders L&T to construct a property at a Madhya Pradesh. Service recipient, service provider both are in the state of Gujarat, but the property is being constructed outside the state of Gujarat. So the place of supply in this case will be the location of an immobile property, which is a Madhya Pradesh. So place of supply Madhya Pradesh, location of a supplier Gujarat, both are in different state. This transaction will be subject to IGST even if the service provider and service recipient both are located in the same state. Now let me move to next category of services. If services are in relation to restaurant, catering, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services, cosmetic surgery, like that, in this case forget about where the service recipient is, where the service provider is. Your place of supply will be the location where such a services are actually performed. So if such a restaurant is at a Gujarat, place of supply will always be a Gujarat. If such a catering or personal grooming or fitness, that we say beauty treatment, etc., wherever such a location or such a health center, etc., are located, place of supply will be that location itself. Now another rule: if any training or performance appraisal is there, in that case place of supply will be dependent on whether the service recipient is a registered or not. If a person who is receiving the service is a registered person, in that case place of supply will be the location of the recipient. And if that person is not registered, in that case the location, place of supply will be the location where service is actually performed. For example, in this workshop, suppose somebody is registered from Bombay. Service is being provided by an Ahmedabad branch, so Gujarat. So suppose that service recipient is registered, in that case place of supply will be the location of the recipient, means Bombay. This transaction will be considered as an IGST. Now suppose in the same workshop somebody is also from Bombay, but he is not registered. So in that case, for invoice or a transaction for training to that unregistered person at a Bombay will be, for that place of supply will be the location where the services are actually performed. So suppose this workshop is not online, but it is being done at Ahmedabad only. In that case, place of supply will be Ahmedabad, service provider is also located at Ahmedabad, and hence it will be subject to SGST and CGST, meaning thereby for the same workshop, for one fellow it will be an IGST transaction, for another participant it can be a CGST and SGST transaction. Admission to event or amusement park, the place of supply will be the location or a place of an event or a park where that event take place or park is located. Any services by way of organizing that event, in that case, if the service recipient is a registered person, in that case the location of the recipient will be the place of supply. If service recipient is not registered, the location of event will be the place of supply. Please understand difference between the first and second category I discussed. Admission to event means when somebody is allowed to enter into an event or an amusement park on making the payment of some fees or a token amount. So that will be considered under the different category, and there are many persons who help you to organizing such an event. So if you are providing such an services of organizing that event, that will be treated differently, and the registration of a person who is receiving the service will have an impact to determine the place of supply in second category. Now move further. Accommodation in immovable property for functions. For this, place of supply will always be a location of an immovable property. Any service which is related to transportation of goods or a courier, if it is provided to a registered person, the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. If it is provided to an unregistered person, the place of supply shall be location where the goods are handed over for a transportation. There is a little change from 1st February 2019. It says that even if the service recipient and service provider both are in India, but finally the courier or goods are being transported outside the country, in that case the place of supply will be the destination of outside an India, means place of supply will be considered as an outside India, and such a transaction will always be subject to IGST, means it will be considered as an interstate transaction. Transportation of passenger, if it is provided to a registered person, the location of the recipient will be place of supply. If it is provided to unregistered person, location where such a passenger embarks on the plane or vessel, whatever it is, that place will be considered as a place of supply. Telecommunication related services, I don't want to go into detail in that. Now we will move to the place of supply for international transaction, meaning thereby any one of the party is located outside the country. What is that? It is almost similar to the place of supply related rules related to services for the domestic transaction, barring the few exceptions. So generally the location of the recipient will be considered as a place of supply. So suppose somebody is importing some services from outside India, in that case place of supply will be the location of the recipient, means he has to pay the tax as a recipient or under the RCM, considering this transaction as an interstate transaction, meaning thereby IGST will be payable on import of services. If any services which is required a presence of some goods or a performance or a person with service provider, in that case where such actual performance has been undertaken, that place will be considered as a place of supply. For example, for some training, a person or service recipient or anybody on behalf of a service recipient is required to be present before the service provider. In that case, if the service is provided into an India, within an India, the place of supply will be India. Services, if any service is related to an immobile property, so as discussed for the domestic transaction, the place of supply will be the location of an immobile property. One important change compared to domestic services is related to intermediary banking service and hiring of vehicle and yachts. What is that? If it is an international transaction and services is of intermediary services, say commission agent or a banking services provided to account holder, in that case place of supply will always be location of the provider. So if a commission agent is located in an India, the place of supply will always be the location of the service provider. For transportation of goods, except courier, place of supply will always be destination of a goods. So if goods are moving out of the country, it means that the place of supply will be outside India. If the goods are moving into the country, for example import, in that case the place of supply will be a destination of goods, meaning by India. Transportation of passenger, in that case place of supply will be or shall be the place where that passenger embarks on the plane or vessel or any vehicle. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ahmedabad branch.